Senator Robinson.
I screwed all
Can't figure it out.
Trying to help me out.
Thank you very much. I am Devlin Robinson. I'm the senator that will cover being moved out of Peters Township at the end of the year, and I will cover all of where my district will be all in Allegheny County. But I will still be a phone call away if anybody needs anything. So I have a lot of love for Peters Township, so please feel free to reach out if I could be of any assistance. My background is, I grew up in Pittsburgh, born and raised. The only time I left was for the Marines, went over to Iraq and Afghanistan, and came back, and I actually started a small business 16 years ago. And I'm still operating it to this day. So I know the struggles, and I thought I was going to close the doors during COVID as well, but was able to bounce back. And I've been a senator for about 2 years, and that's about it. The committees that I'm on, I'm vice chair of Law and Justice, which includes the Liquor Control Board. I'm also on Community Economic Recreational Development, which oversees the casinos. I'm on Appropriations, which oversees the budget. Labor and Industry, Local Government, Health and Human Services, and Fish and Game.
How they loaded you up.
Exactly. I told him that I was mobile, single, no kids. I can get around the state, and they were like, "Hey, fantastic."
We're giving you everything.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Senator Robinson.
Thanks.
Representative Kale.
I'm State Representative Josh Kale. Before I introduce myself briefly, I do want to say that you guys have a great one here with Greg Moreland. I came in as a freshman. Actually, 3 of us came in as a freshman, and he was a staffer with the Speaker of the House at the time, with Speaker Terzai, and Greg is a strong advocate and effective individual, and he's a good person for the NFIB to have. So we appreciate you having us. My district is Beaver and Washington counties. It's west of here. It goes from the northern tip of Beaver County to the southern tip of Washington County, and it hugs the border of Ohio and West Virginia. My background is I was a lawyer for oil and gas service companies, small businesses. I still do a little bit of that work, and I think that work prepared me uniquely for this position because you can see firsthand the struggles that businesses in Pennsylvania have. And I also had the opportunity to work in some other states in West Virginia and Ohio, and you can see what those states do much better than what Pennsylvania does. So we're working on those things in Harrisburg. I'm looking forward to discussing it. I also have my uncle is here too today as well, Jim Kale.
Oh,
so he's
family
probably going to
member.
say, "Oh yeah, I know, right?" It's funny because my family, we have a pretty large family, and most of us are still in the South Hills. Some of us are Westmoreland, Beaver, and these guys I think represent more of my family than I do actually. So,
What committees are you on, Josh?
Energy Committee. I was on the Finance Committee, but a freshman special election happened. I am moving off to Judiciary Committee, Rules Committee, and the Education Committee.
Thank you.
Yep.
Representative Kulik.
My name is Anita Kulik. I represent the 45th Legislative District. That comprises Neville Island, McKees Rocks, Kennedy, Stowe Township, Coriopolis, Robinson Township, Carnegie, and I'm picking up Collier and Bridgeville in the redraw. I grew up in Carnegie, so I'm extremely familiar with the area. My relatives were all small business owners, and my husband and I have a small law practice that he's had for close to 40 years now. And the bulk of my district is small businesses. I know a lot of you are familiar with Bridgeville and Carnegie and Coriopolis and what they have done to their main streets, and it's just phenomenal. We did not lose a lot during COVID, and we are growing. There's new businesses opening all the time in my district, and I'm very proud of that. So those are my mom and pop towns. In other areas, Robinson Township and Neville Island in particular, Collier Township, we have some larger small businesses. But again, aside from places like Covestro, my district is, the foundation of my district is the small businesses. And I'm on liquor control, game and fish, professional licensure, and Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee.
Thank you, Representative Cook. Representative Mahalik?
We can hear you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Natalie Mahalik. I represent the 40th Legislative District. It's parts of Allegheny and Washington County, and most importantly, Peters Township. So thank you for having me this morning. So I recognize many of your faces, and I'm sure you recognize my staff over there who's diligently taking photos of the event, Electra Janice. I know many of you had spoken with her during the pandemic, and even beyond that. And we have a great relationship with the Peters Township Chamber of Commerce, and we know Brian is out there beating the pavement every day, trying to get new members into the chamber. And you guys do just a really great job of networking and getting members involved. And I know a lot of your members will have the NFIB sticker right on the door, which I don't think before I was in office I would have ever noticed, but NFIB was one of the first advocacy groups that I had met with after I was first elected, and I think you guys do a great job. You said you don't educate, and maybe you don't educate the members in the way that the chamber does as far as the issues go, but you certainly educate the legislators on what is important to your members, so we really appreciate that, because it's important for us to know what our small businesses are needing from the legislature. So Greg, just to echo what Josh said, I think you've done just a fantastic job in this role with the NFIB. So we appreciate you putting this together this morning so we can hear from all of you. I kind of think it should be reversed, and you guys should be on the panel so we know what we're doing when we get back to Harrisburg. But nonetheless, I think it'll be a good discussion this morning. By way of background, I served in the Navy right out of high school. I prosecuted cases for Allegheny County as an assistant district attorney, and then I was in private practice for about 10 years before beginning my legislative career in 2018 with Representative O'Neill and Kale. I serve on appropriations. I'm not on judiciary anymore. Why is this the hard question for everyone? What committees am I on? Veterans Affairs, Emergency Preparedness. I must be on a lot of committees with you. Just looking at you, liquor control, and maybe human services or something like that. But our office is always accessible. You know how to reach me either through Brian or Electra. So looking forward to the discussion today. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Miller?
Yes, hi, good morning. I'm Dan Miller. I represent the 42nd District based in Mount Lebanon and the surrounding area. I share, or will share, half of Upper St. Clair with Nat. Beforehand, I was, or still am, an attorney. I've worked everything from like Department of Justice, Labor Relations Board to some county solicitor, and then working in some special education. So I am on no committees. I kicked off. Yeah, I know. I'm in my party's leadership, my caucus leadership, so I don't get to do other committees anymore, which I miss in a lot of ways. So, but I do things in my district. We have some great business districts in Castle Shannon, Mount Lebanon, and Dormont. We basically have been involved with doing a lot of rework for every one of those areas. Mount Lebanon's continuing right now, and I know a lot of people are complaining about that. But there's a lot of work that's there to help sort of our small businesses grow in those areas and to invest with them on the public side. I do want to give a shout out. I appreciate Peter's always reaching out, no matter where we go or where I am with it. I definitely appreciate the conversations and the efforts to bring me in. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative O'Neill?
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Tim O'Neill. I represent the 48th Legislative District, so I border Natalie, I border Josh. Really the heart of Washington County, the city of Washington itself sits in my district. I would be remiss if I don't say two things about the previous comments. First off, I have seniority over both Josh and Natalie. I came 6 months before them. So I'm offended that they included me in their class. Obviously, that's a joke. But also Greg Moreland, as Josh said, Greg was a staff member when I first came in, but Greg and I have a separate tie as well. We both served in the 173rd Airborne in Vicenza, Italy. Maybe not at the exact same time, but we were both there in the same unit, so we have that tie as well. So, Sky Soldiers. So I've been in office now for about 4 years. I'm on the Appropriations Committee, Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness, the Environmental Resources and Energy Committee, as well as the always very exciting Insurance Committee. Obviously, what NFIB does, what the Peters Township Chamber of Commerce does, it is vital to our state, in the NFIB's case, in our region here locally with the chamber. I would agree with what Dan said. Brian and the Peters Chamber is always wonderful about including really everybody from the region. I'm always amazed by the people and the small businesses that aren't anywhere near Peters Township that are involved in the Peters Township Chamber of Commerce, and that's a testament to the work that's being done at the chamber as well as Brian. So pleasure to be here. Thanks.